Welcome to Horror Tales, where the shadows come alive and every story leaves you breathless. The shadows of Granny's Manor. In the heart of a forgotten wood, where the trees grew thick and twisted, there lay an old, decaying mansion known to the locals as Granny's Manor. The house was a relic from a bygone era, its walls crumbling, its windows shattered, and its once grand facade now covered in ivy and moss. Despite its dilapidated state, Granny's Manor had a sinister reputation, one that kept even the bravest souls from venturing too close. The legend of Granny's Manor was one of darkness and despair. It was said that many years ago, a woman known only as Granny had lived there, a reclusive figure who was both feared and respected by the townsfolk. She was known to possess strange powers, abilities that no one could explain. Some whispered that she was a witch, others that she had made a pact with dark forces. Whatever the truth, one fact remained: those who crossed her never lived to tell the tale. As the years passed, Granny grew more isolated, retreating further into the depths of her manor. The once beautiful estate fell into disrepair, the gardens overrun with weeds, the grand halls filled with dust and cobwebs. Then, one day, Granny vanished without a trace. The townspeople, too afraid to investigate, left the manor to rot, hoping that the darkness that surrounded it would fade with time. But it didn't. The manor remained, a blight on the landscape, and the legend of Granny only grew. It was said that the house was cursed, that Granny's spirit still lingered within its walls, waiting for anyone foolish enough to enter. The curse of Granny's Manor was a powerful one, a darkness that seeped into the very foundation of the house. Those who entered the manor were never seen again, their fates sealed by the shadows that lurked within. Granny's Manor was a place of shifting shadows and echoing whispers. The moment you stepped through its creaking doors, the atmosphere would change. The air would grow thick, heavy with the weight of countless secrets. The house was alive, aware of your presence, and it would begin to play its twisted game. The rooms of Granny's Manor were not bound by the rules of the outside world. Time moved strangely within its walls, warping and twisting until it was impossible to tell how long you had been inside. The house was a maze of corridors that seemed to stretch on forever, each turn leading you deeper into its heart. Doors would open and close of their own accord, leading you in circles, trapping you in an endless loop. But it was the shadows that were the most terrifying. The shadows of Granny's Manor were not like ordinary shadows. They moved independently, creeping along the walls and floors, reaching out with long, dark fingers to touch you. These shadows were cold, and their touch would send a shiver down your spine, filling you with a deep, primal fear. At first, the shadows were subtle, barely noticeable as they flitted at the edge of your vision. But as you ventured deeper into the manor, they grew bolder, more aggressive. They would dart across your path, blocking your way, or wrap around your feet, pulling you back when you tried to run. And always, there was the feeling of being watched, of unseen eyes following your every move. The whispers were another cruel trick of Granny's Manor. Soft at first, barely more than a murmur, they would grow louder the longer you stayed in the house. They spoke in hushed tones, voices that seemed to come from the very walls themselves. Sometimes the whispers were incoherent, a jumble of words that made no sense. But other times they were disturbingly clear, speaking directly to you, calling your name, urging you to give in to the darkness. As the shadows and whispers closed in, you would begin to see her Granny. She was not like the old woman she had once been. The years had twisted her into something monstrous, a being of darkness and malice. Granny would appear in the corners of your vision, a flicker of movement that was gone before you could fully register it. She was always there, always watching, waiting for the right moment to strike. Granny's Manor fed on fear. The more frightened you became, the stronger the shadows grew, the louder the whispers became. The house would twist and change, reflecting your deepest fears back at you. Rooms that were once familiar would become alien, their contents shifting into nightmarish visions. Mirrors would show twisted reflections, revealing a version of yourself that was distorted and monstrous. The house knew your mind, your fears, and it used them against you. There was no escape from Granny's Manor. The doors that had once opened to the outside world were now sealed shut, the windows bricked over. The house had you, and it would not let you go. The shadows would close in, the whispers would reach a deafening crescendo, and Granny would appear, her dark form looming over you, her face hidden beneath a veil of shadows. And then, the final game would begin. Granny's game was simple, yet impossible to win. She would challenge you to a contest of wills, a battle of minds. You would be forced to confront your deepest fears, to face the darkness within yourself. The shadows would drag you down, pulling you into the depths of the manor, into rooms filled with horrors beyond imagination. You would run, but there was no escape. The house would twist around you, leading you back to Granny, again and again. In the end, no one could resist Granny's power. The shadows would consume you, the whispers would drive you mad, and Granny would claim your soul. Your body would become one with the manor, Another lost soul trapped within its walls, your face joining the countless others etched into the dark corners of the house. Granny's manor was eternal, its curse unbreakable. It stood as a reminder of the darkness that once ruled the land, a place where the line between the living and the dead was blurred beyond recognition. And so it remained, a silent, waiting terror in the heart of the forest, a place where the shadows never stopped moving and the whispers never ceased. The manor was always hungry, always searching for new souls to claim. It waited, patient and still, for the next unwary traveler, the next curious soul, the next fool who thought they could outsmart the curse. But no one ever did. The manor's curse was too strong, too old, and too deeply rooted in the darkness that had once consumed the land. Granny's manor still stands, shrouded in mist and shadows, a dark blot on the landscape, untouched by time or decay. The locals know better than to venture too close, and the story of the manor has become a cautionary tale, a warning to those who might be tempted by curiosity or greed. For in the end, all who enter Granny's manor are doomed to become part of the shadows, lost forever in the darkness, their souls claimed by the curse that will never die.